It's MK. Welcome to MK Quilts. And we got Mr. MK, and Samson's a little off the camera. So, we went ahead and jumped on the live stream just a little bit early because this is just something a little bit different than we've done before over in my closed group. So we're just about 5 minutes early. We're just gonna go ahead and kind of just sit here and maybe chat a little bit. We're gonna watch for people to get on. And just as we're waiting for more people to hop on, I want to thank my husband for letting me use his phone tonight. For those of you who know me well and follow me on other avenues and other sites, you know that I'm not the greatest about battery management, and Paul always gives me a hard time about that. I'm really good at certain things, and then there's other things that, whoo, like, oh, we're having a live feed tonight. Probably should have my phone charged up. Oh, goodness. Anyway, so hope you guys all had a great 4th of July. We actually took it pretty easy yesterday. I came into the shop and worked for a little while, and that was nice just to kind of be here by myself in the quiet. Nobody else was in the plaza, so that was really nice. So thank you guys for staying up late on a Friday night. It is a holiday weekend, but like I said in my earlier post today, there's just a really awesome promotion going on right now from Handy Quilter, and we wanted to be able to talk about that, get the information out there, and so that you can consider all things, and the promotion included, when you're thinking about perhaps buying a long arm. So we wanted to do it tonight, and we went a little bit later East Coast time so that hopefully maybe we can pick up some people on the West Coast as well.
So Melissa, why don't you explain to them why you like to do live feeds instead of safer video things where you can edit stupid things out like me?
I don't know. I just think live feeds they're just a little bit more authentic, and like if we make a mistake or a boo-boo, I mean, it's like,
it's forever on the internet, dear.
I don't know. I just think it attracts more people, and I just love, and I know that the feed is a little bit delayed, but I like that people can interact and ask questions in real time, and I don't know. I just do.
I will download it and put it up on YouTube as well, because not everybody is on our same time schedule.
Right.
But I'll try not to say something stupid. It's a lot of work for me.
I told Paul, just follow my lead tonight, and he's got a little bit of work to do. We're going to take a little bit of a tour around the studio. We're going to step up to some of the machines, and he's got to figure out how to do the phone, flip the phone, make sure words aren't backwards and that kind of thing. I have complete confidence in him.
That's one of us.
All right, well, we're straight up 8 o'clock pretty much right now, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And for any of you who are new to following us, I'm Melissa, this is Paul. Welcome to MK Quilts, and we are coming to you live from inside of my quilting studio here in Palm Harbor, Florida. Oh yes, and
this is our mascot.
This is our mascot, Samson, and Samson was supposed to be my dog. We got him on Mother's Day about 7 years ago. Yeah, pretty much he's Paul's dog. But you know, tonight we wanted to come to you, a very focused audience. Those of you who may be considering purchasing a long arm, or maybe you're already a long arm owner and you just have some questions about upgrading. What does a purchase from MK Quilts look like? You know, we chatter about it sometimes on our other social media platforms, most specifically my Pro Stitcher Sim style group. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And, you know, it occurred to me that maybe not everybody wants to hear about all of that all of the time, but there are certainly some of you who are starting to process these thoughts and have questions about it. And many of you have been reaching out to us. We've actually been talking to quite a few people just recently about at least the possibility. We've had some people come in for test drives. They're falling in love with the machines, and then they're just trying to make plans for what that looks like. So, Paul asked about why did I want to do this in a live format, and I feel like we're a little bit different type of a retailer, okay? I just told you we're coming to you from my quilt shop. We don't even have posted set hours here at the shop. It's kind of still by appointment only. And, I don't sell fabric per se. I do have some wide backs. I have some thread for sale, batting, things like that. But we're just a little bit outside of what a normal retail location looks like. And, in the way of the world these days with everything like, YouTube and Netflix and, just all of these other avenues that people go to now to get, news and just all kinds of programming, I just thought, what? Why don't we try something a little bit different and come to you in this format tonight so that you can just really ask questions, ask honest questions. And I think I really want to start out by letting you know that this is just an avenue for us to give you information. We are not pressure people in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so please don't think if you drop your name or if we see that you're watching that we're going to be really a hard sell or after you or anything like that. Did you raise your hand?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you, dear. So, yeah, we understand when you're looking at buying something like one of these machines that you may not be planning on this until December, It's the type of thing that if you dream about it, you plan for it, you'll find a way to make it happen. But just because you talk to us this month does not mean we're going to be hounding you every month, every week, how's it going, whatever. But, when you get to that point, there isn't a better option than buying from MK Quilts. So this is a sales discussion, but it's also to give you an idea of how we do business. What makes us different? Why have we been so incredibly successful in the past year or so? People have started to realize that we do things differently and that we aren't going anyplace.
Yeah, so basically, you guys, tonight, I wanted to touch base with you and talk to you about what do we do here? What do we sell? How do we sell it? How do we service it? How do we treat the sale after the fact? What is our business model? Okay, so we're going to talk about a lot of things over the next maybe about 40 minutes. I'll try to keep it to that. Just as a reminder, if you're just joining us, we do have a friend. Our friend John is here tonight, and he is monitoring the computer over there. So at any point, if you have questions or you want us to stop and review something or what have you, just pop a question and we will do our best to answer. Now, again, this is live, kind of like live TV, so we're hoping everything goes smoothly. But, just this is who we are. This is who we are. This is what we do. And if we mess up, we know y'all still love us, okay? All right, so what I thought we would do to start, and some of you may already be owners, some of you may already have driven or test driven some of the Handy Quilter machines. But what I thought I would do to start with is just walk you around the shop a little bit and show you the machines, talk about some of the things that they do. Each model is just a little bit different. And then we'll come back here and we'll go through the rest of my little outline that I have and whatnot. So here is where Paul is going to take over. John, somebody has a question.
So somebody's asking, what is the footprint of an 8-foot frame in Amara?
All right, that's a great question. When we step up over to the Amara, we'll talk about that. And I also have a bunch of documentation, a bunch of files that are all on our website in one way, shape, or form. So I actually have an Amara on an 8-foot frame here in the studio.
So if you want to follow along, we're going to show you some stuff here. There is a custom quote guide document, we've called it now, that has a lot of information that we're going to be sharing. If you want to go to mkquilts.com and go under the new machine menu, not the submenus, but new machine, click on that and scroll to the bottom, you'll find a place where you can download this. Or at any time, if you actually do want to get on the website and you submit a quote for a request for a quote, you will be taken in the end to a screen that also allows you to download it as well. So we want to work with you. So we have another question here.
It's actually kind of a comment. Maria Matias says she didn't reserve a seat, but she was recommended by a friend who purchased from you guys.
Okay, well, Maria, wonderful, and obviously no reservation was needed because here you are, and that actually just leads me into a point that I was going to make later, is that we have a new program that we actually just instituted a few months ago. But anyways, we have some trifold flyers that speak all about MK Quilts. And in the bottom of the box, and I'm sorry if the glare is bad on there, in the bottom of one of the pages is a referral section of that flyer. And anybody who refers somebody to us, who purchases a system from us, that is the biggest compliment that anybody can pay us. And in return, we want to give the referring person a nice little kickback in the form of some store credit. So Maria, we'll talk to you later about who sent you our way, because we want to make sure that whoever comes through our doors or through our sites or through the website or anything, that we know how you found us so that we can thank that person appropriately. Okay? All right. We'll talk a little bit more about the 8-foot frame and the Amara when we get over there. But Paul, go ahead and set Sammy down, and let's just start with a little tour of the shop. Paul's going to grab the phone. Sorry if it's a little bit, hey Sammy, let me just take it out of the tripod there. Sorry that it's a little bit jumbled.
So let's see. I'm going to go this way, and
You're just going to click right there.
Right there. Okay.
Say hi, Sammy.
Say hi, Sammy.
And then you have
then
to
I
click
have to click
that.
the wand and flip it.
Flip it. Okay.
All right. So
now you should be looking at me straight on. All right, Paul, just be very careful on your way back, and let's go ahead and flip around. So we're going to go ahead and start over here by the Simply 16. So the Simply 16. So the Simply is actually pretty new as far as having a home here in the studio. And the Simply is really kind of follows its name. The Simply is a very basic, I look at it as kind of a starter machine. It does have regulated mode, and it's a nice little machine. I think the fastest, let me just get my cheat sheet. I believe that the stitches per minute on the Simply is 1,800 stitches per minute, full out. And of course it does have the regulation on it. Now, on the frame right now is a quilt sample that my shop manager, Ellen, put together, because we actually have 3 Simply owners right here in the Palm Harbor area, and they are coming in next week for a free motion class. They're super excited. Ellen's going to be leading them through just some simple techniques to get them more familiar with their machine. But the Simply is set up on a little foot frame, and the little foot frame was introduced by Handy Quilter probably 2 or 3 years ago by now. And it was really introduced to target that person who maybe has limited space in their home or in their studio. So this is about a 5-foot frame. I think the actual quilting space is about 13 or 14 inches in depth. And then the width is about 48 inches. I think that's what it said on the little cheat sheet. Now, one thing that is brand new on this frame tonight is what is being called the Little Buddy system. And it is a rail system for rolling your quilts that was just introduced by Handy Quilter just about a month and a half ago or 2 months ago at Spring Market. And one of the beautiful things about the Little Buddy system is it gives you the ability now to actually roll your quilt through the frame rather than having to manipulate it back and forth on the frame. So I think it's a wonderful, wonderful add-on. And if you are a person who just has limited space in your home or in your studio, this now is a really, really nice option. Now, you're looking at the little foot frame with the Simply on it, but the little foot frame can actually hold an Avante or an Amara, okay? And we actually have an owner north of here in Florida who has a little foot frame with an Amara, with Pro Stitcher on it. So we're going to talk about Pro Stitcher a little bit later. Okay, so it's a sweet, sweet little machine, you guys. I haven't actually gotten a chance to work with it a whole lot because, as you know, if you follow me for a while, I'm not really a true free motion quilter, but it's a great place to start. All right, let's head on over to the Amara. Any questions, John?
So Kathy Smith is asking if Paul can see if her table can be repaired or if she needs to purchase a new table for her Avante.
That will be a conversation we can have. Please send me an email at paul@mkquilts.com and we will address that.
We will definitely address that.
So Carolyn Dausch-Reno is asking, does quilting lose space with the little foot using an Amara?
So there is an extension bracket on the frame that allows you to get a little bit more space. I think Paul's going to head on over there and talk about that a little bit.
So yeah, when you put the Amara on here, there's actually another clip. So this moves out several inches on both sides so that you don't lose any of the throat space there. So you gain that throat space that you get with the Amara. So it will fit and we'll give you the full depth of the Amara. Say hi, dear.
Okay, good question. Hi. Good question. This is working out really good. Thanks to John for coming in tonight on a Friday. Okay, so here we are over at my Amara. The Amara is relatively new in the studio as well. And the Amara was introduced, oh gosh, I don't know, 2.5, maybe almost 3 years ago now. And it is an amazing machine, and in my opinion, it is the perfect machine for those of you who want to step up to doing a little bit of free motion and a little bit of Pro Stitcher work. Okay, we have a question. I'm going to go ahead and stop for 1 second.
Jeff Hissong is asking, Amara is what throat space?
Amara is a 20-inch throat depth machine, but probably true stitching space is right around 14 inches, maybe 15. You have to remember that even though there may be a stated distance from the needle to the back of the machine there, you do lose a little bit of space just by having the machine up and over the bars. So it's about 15 inches. You know what I could actually do? I wasn't planning on something like this, but I've got the Pro Stitcher open on the Amara, and the Pro Stitcher has a measure function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the machine all the way to the back. I'm going to go in under Pro Stitcher, and I'm going to go under the measure tool. The minute that I move the machine, the crosshairs are going to come into view, and let me just, it says right at 16, over 16.5 inches. So I was underestimating it a little bit there. Now, if you are working on a large quilt and you're rolling and your quilt is building up on the back bar, you're probably not going to want to, let's say if you're working on a pantograph or an edge to edge, probably not going to want to push it all the way to 16 inches because it starts to build up back here. But that's a really nice throat depth there on the Amara. So great question, Jeff. I think you're thinking about one for your place. All right, on the Amara, this baby, if you were free motioning, full out speed on an Amara is 2,500 stitches per minute. So that's a lot of stitches in 1 minute. Let's see, somebody asked about the frame. Now let's talk about the frames a little bit since we had the question. When you order one of these larger machines from the Amara on up, you get the option of choosing an 8, 10, 12, or even now a 14-foot table configuration. Question?
Carol Lynn is asking, is it the same with the Avante if you're losing 3 to 4 inches?
Yeah, so the Avante is just a little bit shorter than the Amara. The Avante is 18, so just probably subtract about the same amount. So yes. Okay, back to the frames. When you order the frame itself, you have to order it in a 10 or 12 foot configuration. But we have it set up at 8 foot here just because we were a little bit cramped for space in the studio. Now it's not something that we talk about a lot. Most people do choose the 10 or the 12 foot configuration, but the 8 foot is a really nice length. Again, especially if maybe you're in a spare bedroom or something like that. And basically all you do is you leave out a 2 foot section. Now the nice thing about the studio frames is they go together in sections. So if at some point in the future you want to take this from a 10 to a 12 or even a 14 foot configuration, it's actually quite easy because all of the studio sections are just that. They're in sections and they go together, okay, including the track and the rails, all right? Okay, so the Amara, you guys, is a beautiful machine. Again, if you're a quilter who you want to do a little bit of both, you want to do some free motion, but you also want to add on the Pro Stitcher, it's great because the machine is up close to you when you're free motioning. You don't have to go really far away. All right, Mr. MK is motioning to me. We have the Handy Quilter light system set up here on the Amara. And let me tell you what, you guys, this was just released last fall in Houston by Handy Quilter, and I have been blown away and very impressed with the light and just the whole system itself. It's very modular. You can set it to however wide of a table you have. It's adjustable in height. So if you've got a low ceiling, you can bring it down a little bit. If you got a real nice high ceiling, you can adjust it up. And again, it's very modular in the way that you put it together. It just has these 2 foot sections that you can add in. And so you can bring it down, you can put it over your little foot frame, or you can just continue to add the 2 foot sections and make it as wide as you want. All right? Okay, I think that was all we were going to cover on the Amara. All right, come on over after you get done looking at Sammy. All right, over here we're stepping up now into the Forte. You guys, the Forte is a beautiful machine for that person who maybe is thinking about having the quilting be a small business for you. Okay, so what I always tell people, and I don't want this to sound real salesy, but it is a sales presentation that we're giving you tonight. I always tell people, buy the biggest machine that you can afford and that you have space for, because you will never regret having that extra throat space. And the Forte is just a beautiful, beautiful machine. John is stepping out, not sure why, but anyway. So the Forte, you guys, kind of replaces the Fusion. I had 2 Fusions in my career, and basically it's the same size. It's a 24-inch throat depth machine, about 18 inches of true stitchable space here on the Forte. Now, on the Amara and on the Forte, one of the features that they just added was the ability to adjust the handlebars independent from each other. So let's say, for instance, that you wanted this handlebar to be in the upward position, but you wanted this handlebar to be lowered. So you can do that independent of each other. Maybe you're going to be doing some micro stippling or micro quilting. You can take this handlebar and also move it so that it's right down, so that you can actually have your hands right down on the quilt. The other thing that's kind of nice is you can adjust them in and out. Okay, so they've made it very, very adjustable, so that however you feel comfortable quilting, that you can adjust that appropriately. Now, one of the other things that I have over here on the Forte, and I'm not going to go ahead and adjust it because we've got some bins underneath, but we have this table equipped with the HighRise system. Now, the HighRise system is the hydraulic lift system for the table. So one of the reasons why we added the hydraulics onto this table is because I do offer a rental program here at MK Quilts, and it just makes it so that I can raise and lower the table really easily. And John has a question.
Mary Gentrup asks, how much bigger in inches is the Forte table in back to forth, not width?
Okay, so let me, where did I leave my sheets? Here we go. I'm not sure. Okay, so the table itself on a gallery, so that's for the Forte. It says it's 5.5 feet from front to back. That's on the gallery frame. On the studio frame, from front to back, it's saying that it's 4 feet. So you've got an extra foot and a half front to back on that. All right, there is an entire sheet here, and we'll make sure that we go ahead and post that for the footprint. It has all of the table dimensions, and it has all of the space that they recommend you leave for walking space for clearance, okay? All right, good questions. Let's see, back to the HighRise system. I was going to mention, if you are the type of a quilter that maybe standing at your machine for long periods of time is going to be a challenge for you, there are a lot of products out there on the market for like these chairs, like the saddle chairs are really popular, but you might want to take some time and sit down at your frame. Having the HighRise system just allows you to lower and raise that back up, maybe taking a little bit of stress off of your body for that. John?
Colleen Shan's asking, what is the difference between the gallery frame and the studio frame? Just size?
Basically, it's just the size and the diameter of the rails, the poles, okay? So the frames look almost identical when you just look at them, but the studio frame holds the Amara, the Avante. You can actually put the Simply on a studio frame as well. So I forgot to mention that when I was over at the Simply, that if you want just a basic machine but you would like a bigger frame than the Littlefoot, you can absolutely put the Simply on a studio frame. So yes.
Talk about the gallery and how the track is one continuous piece because the machine is so much heavier.
Right, so as you step up into the bigger machines, the gallery frame is just a little meatier because the machines are bigger, they're heavier. The other thing about the gallery frame is the track system, when they ship it to you, they ship it in one big, long, continuous unit, okay? It comes in a big, long tube off the truck. So when you move up into the gallery frame, you really have to take a good, hard, measure your space really, really well and really decide how big you want that table. Because if you need to take that 12-foot down in size, we gotta cut those tracks off. Right, Paul? Right, Mr. MK?
Yes.
Another question, John.
Sherry Puckett's asking, can the HighRise be used on different frames?
Yes, it can be put on, I know on the gallery and I know on the studio. Mr. MK, do you know anything about the Littlefoot?
I'm thinking there is no reason why
I think you're going to end up with more parts than you need.
Yeah, it comes with 6 or 8 lifts, and you're not going to want to invest that much money into probably your Littlefoot frame, but...
Yes, but for the studio and the gallery, yes, it can absolutely be put on either one of those. Now, I haven't talked to Handy Quilter in a few months about this, but they just introduced an extension for the frames to take them up to 14 feet. Now, the last time I spoke to them, they weren't exactly sure if HighRise was going to be able to go on the 14-foot option. So we can definitely have a follow-up and talk about that. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about, why don't I just come around here to the back.
Watch out, Sammy.
All right. Handy Quilter got smart the last couple of years, and they started to have the rear handlebar as an add-on option. Okay, so this machine, I have added on the quilt from the back kit, and I've done that again because this machine gets rented, and I want to have people be able to use the laser light in the back to do paper pantos. But that is an addition. You do not have to have that. And if you are just going to go full-on free motion all the time, or if you're going to put a pro stitcher on the machine, chances are you're not going to use this. So that's why they've made it an add-on. I think John had a question.
Mary Gentrup asks, so if the gallery frame comes in one piece, can it be carried up a winding staircase? And is there a case where you physically couldn't get upstairs for a person?
Oh, let me answer that,
Okay,
dear.
Mr. MK.
So if you look at the table, these tables are still coming in 4-foot segments, okay? So they are legs, table. So just like on the studio, you have 4-foot segments. If you notice, the track here, though, is one continuous piece, so that there is no chance of having a bump or whatever affect your quilting. That's the continuous piece. But otherwise, the table, yes, we can get it up any stairs and set it up there. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to mention one other thing that's on my table here is the My Secret drawer. And the My Secret drawer. And the My Secret drawers, you guys, when they introduced them, they couldn't keep them in the warehouse. They have been so popular. We have had people buy 3 drawers for their gallery frame because they're so amazing. Now you're going to notice that I have my drawer loaded, mounted so that it faces the rear. You can have it face forward if you want. We get a lot of questions about the clearance once you have the drawers on, and if you use the batting bar, we get a lot of questions about that. My suggestion on that would be probably to have one drawer at the end and use your batting bar in the middle. I've never used the batting bar because there's a lot of storage space under the tables for other things. And so in my world, I have no problem adding on the drawers under the table. Thanks for allowing us to bring Sammy tonight, you guys. You know how it is. We're just kind of whipped with this dog. All right. So, any other questions about the Forte? The Forte full out is 2,500 stitches per minute, just like the Amara. John.
So Carolyn's asking, the drawers are sized how, and for the different size frames, and are the width and the depth different?
All right, so for the drawer, for the studio and the gallery frame, they're basically interchangeable, okay? The drawer, they're 4-foot sections, and they fit under there, no problem on the studio or the gallery. For the little foot frame, they actually offer a drawer that's a little bit wider, 5 foot rather than the 4-foot sections. I believe the depth of the drawers are all the same. It's just the 2 different lengths. Did I got that right, Mr. MK? Yes. Okay, great question. I did want to mention while I'm over here, all of the new frames have what they are calling the clear view loading system. That basically just means that your side arms are a little bit different from what we've had back in the day. Now, we retrofitted both of my frames here in the studio to have the new side arms. And all that means, I'm just going to go ahead and undo Ellen's little side grip here. Basically, all that means is it's very easy to grab this apparatus, pull it out, and have it go in a downward fashion. And what that buys for you, especially if you're a free motion quilter or if you do any ruler work, what it does is it gets this top bar out of the way so that if you're using a ruler base and a ruler, you're not running into this bar with your ruler. So it's a really awesome option. I don't do a lot of free motion and I don't do a lot of ruler work, so I'm kind of old school. I've been keeping both of my frames pretty much in the standard load configuration, but it is a really nice option for those of you who do the free motion. I also wanted to mention that all of the frames come with one hand wheel. We always recommend that our clients add on another hand wheel for your backing. It's a $40 add-on and it just makes loading so much better. All of the new frames come with the pull cradles as standard options on there. Just notice those as well. All right. I think that's it on that one. Let's step on over to MK'finity. So you guys, MK'finity, my Infinity, is just turned 4 years old. And I gotta tell you, I know the other girls are listening, all the other machines. My Infinity is my favorite. I just love this machine so much. Part of my story is I had at one point thought that I might do some educational work for Handy Quilter. And when the Infinity was released, I just told Paul, I gotta have it. I mean, I just have to have it because I'm going places and I'm gonna be, you know, instructing and teaching, and I just have to have the latest and greatest. Well, you guys, the Infinity is like go big or go home. I mean, it's got a few extra functions that the other machines don't have. It's got a thread cutter. It's got an undercarriage camera so that you can see your backing and check your tension. It's, of course, all of the machines have the laser, not the Simply, but the Amara, the Forte, and the Infinity have the laser light at the needle and the programmable handlebars. I mean, you guys, for me personally, the laser light and the programmable handlebars are like worth the price of admission. I absolutely love those features so much. The Infinity, 26-inch throat depth on it, and you've got right at about 20 inches of true stitchable space on the Infinity. And of course I have all of the 3 bigger machines equipped with the Pro Stitcher. We're going to talk about that in a minute here, but do I have any questions about Infinity? Anything that I haven't? John says, more questions, please. He's getting bored listening to me, apparently. John, am I not going to make you a quilter? All right, I actually just happened to look over and notice that I have my tool tray number 2 over here on the Infinity. And one thing that I wanted to show you is that the new tool tray is adjustable. So these little C-hooks that are on the underside, you can adjust those front to back. So you can put it on a frame that's shorter, medium, long. You can even use this on another manufacturer's frame, which I can't imagine why you would ever want to buy anything other than a Handy Quilter, but they would absolutely fit on another frame. Okay, so we have a few of the Handy tool trays in stock. All right, let's go ahead and talk about, question.
Carolyn asks, what is the difference between the Amara and the Avante?
So a little bit of throat depth, couple more inches on the throat depth, and the Amara is that first machine where you're stepping up into the new functions. Okay, so the programmable handlebars, the laser light at the needle. Now, the Avantes, I'm really glad this question came in because I know that there is a lot of Avantes out there. The Avante, you guys, was basically Handy Quilter's top seller for like many, many years, okay? And there may be some retailers out there that are still selling Avantes. We're not pushing them at all or really talking about them much because this machine is just, with those added functions, it's just so, I just love it. If you have an Avante, you know, they're great, great machines. This just a little bit, you know, a few more things. Some of the other functions on here, you can set your bobbin counter. The lighting is way, way better on the new machines. Let me look at some of the other functions on here. Yep, you've got easy set tension. It's so easy to keep track of where your tension setting is at. You can record how long you've been stitching on a quilt. You can record how many stitches you've put in the quilt. You can set alarms. You can set timers. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. Okay, another question.
Colleen's asking, if I want to upgrade my Avante to an Amara, can I put it on my current Studio Frame?
Absolutely, yes. Now, you're probably going to want to get the sidearm adjustment kit because if you have an older Studio Frame, you don't have the ability to bring that out a few inches. I'm pretty sure we ran into that when we upgraded to an Amara from the Simply. Okay, so yes, you can absolutely keep your Studio Frame, and it's so much easier to do that, you guys. You know, you don't want to try to tear down that table, try to ship that table. That would not be That would not be advisable. We can absolutely help you and walk you through that, getting those sidearms basically. Basically, here's what's going to happen. You would list your Avante for sale, but you would list it for sale with a new table, okay? The new table goes to the new owner, and then you keep your table, you drop your Amara on it, we'll help you through whatever is needed for the sidearms so that you got that little bit of added space on the side, and everybody's happy, okay? All right, great question.
Do you both have throat lighting?
The Avante does not have any throat lighting. The Avante has, some of the newer Avantes have the ring light at the needle. They added that a while ago. We still do have some options for the Avante, the strip lights that you can put on the bottom of the machine, and those have been really, really popular because of the Avante lighting.
And that's what you see on the Simply in the back there. We added the LED lighting to the throat. The Simply normally doesn't have that.
For any of you who have Avantes that want a little bit extra lighting, that ring light is still something that you can order from us, and you just I haven't really installed one, but basically you just put it right up on the apparatus right there, and it gives you some focused light right at the needle. Okay, great questions. All right, let's step on over here, Mr. MK, because the last two items that I want to talk about, John, do you need to move?
I'll just sit here.
Okay. So,
Back
of
in.
course, the last two things that I want to talk about are the Pro Stitcher and the simulation product. So, I don't really know where to even start with Pro Stitcher, you guys. For those of you who may be following or on tonight that have followed me for a while, you know that I'm a Pro Stitcher girl. I've basically built my business on Pro Stitcher. I love it. I love, love, love it. I can't imagine buying a system without it, but that's just me. But what I really wanted to show you behind me, running on my big screen television, is my simulation product. And simulation was introduced 4 years ago already. I can't believe how time has flown. I just had a person on the phone with me today who still wasn't even sure what simulation is. Or does she have it? Does she have to buy it? She was really, she's just unaware of what simulation is. Let me just say that I was kind of a trailblazer when it comes to simulation. And what I do with simulation is I use it as a tool. I use it as a design tool, okay? So I sit on my little laptop with my simulator running, and I set up my quilt before I ever step up to the machine to stitch, all right? If you have Pro Stitcher, standard or premium, you have simulation. Question?
We're getting a couple of feedback here that nobody knows what simulation is, Madam MK.
Okay, so basically simulation is you can run the exact same software that is on your tablet, on your machine. You can run that same software on a Windows device, a desktop Windows device, a Windows laptop device, okay? So basically it simulates that you are running quilting software, but you're actually not quilting. You're just you're pretending, okay? Again, I use it as a tool. Just like other tools we have in our studios, I use it as a tool to help me set up a quilt so that I can check things like density. I can check patterns. I can look at things and say, do I like this pattern with this pattern? I'd rather make those decisions in simulation than stand at the machine and, first of all, be standing on my feet, wasting time at the machine trying to figure out, do I want this block or this border or that border? I would rather do it in simulation, get it all set up, and then be able to walk that from my laptop right on over to my machine, plug in a little flash drive, and go to stitching. Okay, we're going to talk about how I have developed my online classes completely surrounding the simulation product. Great, great question. See, not the only person today that didn't know what simulation was. Another question?
So Maria's a little new to the quilting world and is asking if she starts with the simplest machine can be traded in for the next level up when she gets more experience.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about trade-ins in our world. We, as you can see, we have a pretty small space here, and we've crammed a lot into 800 square feet. But Paul and I do not necessarily take in trade-ins, okay? That's just, we have chosen not to go down that road right now. But what we will do is help facilitate your sale. So we will help you list it on our site. I've got thousands of followers that may have other quilting friends who would be interested in getting your starter machine as their starter machine so that you can step up to the next machine, okay? That's just, for right now, we just are not equipped to take in old machines and sell them, but we can absolutely help you accomplish that.
Where is it? Sherry Puckett's asking, what is that pink holder?
Oh, that is just a third market add-on. It is called a hobby holster, and you can get them on Amazon. They're really sweet. Keeps all your little tools right there, and it's kind of a sticky plastic, and it just grips to the machine, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay. Any other questions before we go have a seat?
Sherry Quaid is asking, where do you purchase flooring?
Oh, good question. So it's something we haven't been chattering about a whole lot, and I'm sorry if Paul goes over
dirty.
there and you see that I didn't vacuum before tonight because I wasn't sure we were going to show the floor. But we have a friend who is in the industry, and he helped me with configure this mat. It is the highest quality, thickest mat that you can get. It's modular, so it goes together like a puzzle, and we are going to list it on our site. I don't have the specifics on that right now. Paul, do you know anything else about that?
We will get it on there, but point out the fact that these mats are over 2 years old, and
Yeah,
they're not showing wear.
Yep, we've been in the studio 2.5 years now, and they just look like, I mean, other than I need to vacuum and run a mop over them, they're very, very durable, very easy to clean. And I mean, if you are a free motion quilter and you're going to be standing at that machine, you're going to want some good mats under your feet. So we will get all the information about that. Again, because they're modular, you can get them to fit whatever frame configuration that you have. All right. Oh, just as Paul comes walking by back over to the chair, let me just mention that we are also stitch retailers. I don't chatter about that a lot just because we've got a lot of other things going on. But here in the studio, right now I've got my HQ Stitch 710. This is a beautiful machine. I know Sherry Quaid's watching. She has one of these. I know she loves it. I love it. We also have two other models. We have the 210, which is a very awesome small machine to take to classes. And then we have the 510, which is a rock solid straight stitch only machine. And if you are a get her done kind of a piecer, the 510 is what you want. Question?
Tony Bartlett is asking, what do you use for thread?
Ah, Mr. MK, come on over here. We'll talk about thread for a second. So thread, you guys, is one of those things that really can be everybody's got their preferences and what they like and whatnot with the thread. I use exclusively Omni threads from Superior here at MK Quilts. Now, one of the reasons why I do that is because I'm a high volume quilter, okay? I got a lot of quilts coming through the shop all the time. I like to just be able to tie on a new color of thread, pull it through, wind my bobbin, and go, okay? Now, our machines have really amazing tension devices on them. If you're the type of quilter that likes to use a lot of different kinds of thread, no problem. You're just gonna have to learn your machine, learn the different tensions. The Infinity has spots in there where you can save the tension settings. The other machines tell you what the tension setting is right on the front there, so you can start a little list. But for the Omni, I love the amount of colors I can get. I love that my machines love it. You get a lot of thread on the cone, and I use it top and bottom. And I know John has a question, but I'll just finish with, we do offer a thread club here at MK Quilts. What it is 3 cones of Omni every month. You get a 10% discount off of the retail. I think it comes out to be like $43.17, something like that, for 3 cones. And here's the thing that makes our thread club unique. You get to pick your colors, okay? Superior has a similar thread club that I was on for years until I started to get duplicates, and I wasn't able to pick my colors. So you can pick your colors every single month. We hold it till the end of the month. We send it out. And the nice thing about that is it's free shipping. And if you order any other small gadgets from us through the month, like feet or needles or, you know, just whatever else you're ordering, we'll throw it in the box and ship it to you for no additional shipping. John.
Follow-on question from Tony Bartlett. What's the weight of the thread?
The weight of the thread, hold please. It is Superior is a text 30. It just says text 30. I will follow up with some more information about that. Let me see if it says additional information. It is a polyester thread. It's like almost like a brushed polyester. It's got a little bit of sheen to it, but it's not full on like flashy thread.
In the meantime, there's a question for Senor MK.
Okay, Mr. MK. I will drop more information about Omni.
Since you don't deal in trade-ins, would they be responsible for taking down and storing their current machine until it's sold? And then once it's sold, would they have to get it boxed up and mailed to the new owner? And is that something the average person can do?
Go ahead, Paul.
Okay.
Here, let me turn the camera around.
Oh my,
Let's
I don't know.
Mr. MK
Okay.
get on
All
the
right,
camera.
all right. Oh wow. All right.
Really rough there, Paul.
So, one, I've helped people sell their machine. We can help get them shipping labels, figure out how to best to ship it. If you have a machine, I hope you have the original shipping box. The Pro Stitcher and the machine box should always be kept. You can throw the rest of the stuff away. Because knowing how poorly all the shippers handle boxes, I watched an airplane handler launch an Avante 50 feet up onto a belt going on an airplane as I was trying to take it back to Utah. So you just have to assume that if you're shipping something, you have to have it in the best container. So that's another reason why we don't recommend trying to disassemble a table, box it up, and ship it across country, because it's just going to be expensive. So you can usually ship the normal machine, the Pro Stitcher with it, for around $200, $250 in the United States. So to give you some idea of how to ship it. So if we ship the new table to the person, that doesn't cost you any added money. Now, we help most people sell their machine before they order the new one, but we have had several of them that will set the system aside. So talk to us about it. We know a lot of people need the price they're going to get from their old machine to fund the new machine. So I'll let Melissa talk a little bit about the pricing she might see if she wants to go there on some of these used machines. But we're very honest with you up front. So
John, what was the question?
So it's a follow-on question for Lord MK here. If the dealer took all the packaging when he set it up and they didn't go through MK, what could she do?
Well, boxes can be purchased. They're not necessarily cheap, but let's take that question offline. We will help you the best that we can, guide you through it, get you the best pricing. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but,
This could be an MK question. So Carolyn is asking, how does all of this work from afar, purchasing and trading and training?
okay, that is what we're going to talk about. Let's go sit down again, and we know we're running a little bit long, but those type of questions are what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a seat again. All right, so the second part of the presentation is exactly what she was asking about what do we offer and how do we offer it? We currently have owners all over the country. One thing that I want to say, and you will never see Paul and I come on and say anything bad about another retailer. We have some amazing retailers around the country. What is starting to set us apart is how we can service and train you from afar. Okay, what are we doing tonight? We're doing a different kind of a presentation. I do remote training all the time. Paul gets on the computer with people. He was probably on with 2 or 3 people just today doing remote computer training.
Yep.
So it's one of the things, you guys, there have been some people that are concerned about buying from us, and they're wherever they are, and we're here in Florida. 2 things. We want to make sure that you get the absolute best and most complete installation possible, okay? Paul was going to talk to you about our trained technicians, but what is included with us is that professional and complete installation and the initial training with you in your home. Now, that might be Paul, that might be one of our installers who are all certified at this point with us and Handy Quilter. Paul, a little bit extra about that while I get back to my notes.
So what's really important to understand is that we are growing. We started out just since October really starting to sell machines, and we've got many out there. We've taken 7 people to Utah, gotten them trained and certified. We want the people that come to set up your system to be able to service it, to make sure that if it got bounced around, you know, some people want to try and set it up themselves. We really, really discourage that, okay? You want to have a knowledgeable person come in and set it up. We have seen so many other retailers' setups that are not done well. I mean, it's really important that you do the table right, you get things set up, you get the machine fully checked out. We even had one Infinity that needed to be retimed. I've never seen that before, but so we need to have people that can check timing out. Now, that is normally where the other retailers' required support ends. They get you set up, they'll run you through about a 50-minute, here's this button, and they walk out the door. And I remember when Melissa got one of her first machines, I think within the first 2 days she was actually in tears over the frustration she was having and just trying to
learn something new.
It's frustrating. So you've got 2 things with us. Obviously the training videos and all our online resources, but the other thing that it costs us a good amount of money, is we want you to have a full day of training one-on-one with a professional like Melissa to get you going. And then after that, that can turn into 3 days if we can do an event the following 2 days where we bring people in. And so you can get 3 days of training, you meet new people. What better way to start out working with your new machine? You won't be in tears and you'll have a lot of resources to draw on. So
you know, you guys, one of the things about me is, from my very core and my very heart and soul, is I want to train people. I want you to know and love your system better. It's how I got into doing this whole deal. I mean, we've only been retailers for like 2.5 years. But prior to that, I was helping people. I started my Facebook groups. I started traveling and teaching because I know what it's like to be out there and you're just like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I need help. And the thing about what we do is, first of all, you're going to have our cell numbers, okay? And here's what I tell, the very last thing that I tell people when we walk out the door is, if you have a problem, if you have a question, if you just are lost, here's what you do. You pick up the phone and you call us, okay? You don't go on the social boards and say, oh, this isn't working and I don't know how to do this and how do I do this and how do I do that? I mean, that's fine if you all want to do that. Okay, the boards are great. But our owners know that they have a line to us, okay? And we pretty much are on the phone almost, we hardly ever take a day off. And we want to be there because we know how important it is. I know for a fact that there are many of you who are making this a business or might want to make this a business. When you run into these situations, you're down. You're not, your machine's not working, you're not making money, your business is, has come to a screeching halt. We want you to feel that you can reach out to us and we will help you. Now, having said that, we also want people that are not afraid of their machines, okay? When we do installs for you, we want to give you some really solid advice about how to avoid potential mishaps. What are some things to think about? What do you do to keep your machine in good operating condition so that you don't have to worry about taking it somewhere to get it serviced, okay? Now, some of you may have other connections locally. We are here as your retailer to help you for the first 90 days with any problems that come up. That's the warranty thing that kicks in if you have any troubles. You call us, we make it right, okay? Outside of the 90 days, your machine has a 10-year warranty on the casting and like the physical part of the machine. The innards, the electronics, that type of thing, that's the 5-year warranty, okay? So we want you to call us. We will help you. We're putting more technicians all over the country so that hopefully they can help you where you're at so that you don't have to schlep the thing down the road in the car, whatever. Now, you might have to do that sometimes, and we're hoping that you can make some other connections because just like a car, you buy it, you're going to have service, here and there at whatever intervals. So if you can do that, great. If not, hopefully within a 2-year time period, we can get back to you, go around the country, check in on our owners, do some service. Really quickly, I know Paul wanted to say something, but I checked all of the manuals before I came on tonight. The suggested service rotation for that is about once a year, once every 2 years if you're not a real heavy user. On the Amara and the Forte, it's 2 years or 10 million stitches, whichever comes first, which means that if everything goes right, you're oiling your bobbin changes, you're not hitting pins, you're being careful with your machine, you shouldn't even have to see a tech for nearly 2 years. On the Infinity, it's 2 years or 15 million stitches, whichever comes first. All right, so that is just, if you are careful with your machine, probably you're going to see us within the time frame to get it serviced.
Okay, so I do want to point out something. The 90-day warranty, we're not counting the hours. We're going to support you as needed. We did have an issue where the lighting system went out on a Forte, and we sent one of our technicians. It was a 4-hour trip for them. We paid over $900 to get a technician out to fix it, to make it right. That technician serviced some other people in the area as well, so they're in it for themselves to make some additional money. But we have a commitment that we're not going to let you be unhappy, because all you have to do is get out on one of these boards and say MK Quilts didn't do something for us, and it's gonna, that's the last thing we want to happen out there. The other thing, we have a timing test kit out on our website for sale. Just spoke to somebody today who's frustrated with fraying stitches, having some issues or whatever, and they don't know if they want to drive 90 minutes to get the timing tested or whatever, and so they're buying the timing test kit. In rare situations where you don't have somebody close by, you can be trained to at least test it. If you have a problem and you can't get it to somebody, you'll have us to talk to. It's not simple. It may take you an hour and a half to learn how to do it, but we aren't going to go, well, we're not getting service dollars on sending somebody out there. We're there to support you, and if you need to get your timing set up properly or at least check it, we'll be there to support you as well. So many of our customers are 3 hours from their nearest decent retailer, okay? If you have a decent retailer that's half an hour away or whatever, that you have a good relationship, we won't poach a deal. We're not going to try and undersell another retailer. That's not who we are, okay? If you have a good relationship with a dealer that gives good support, buy from them. You know, there's plenty of other territory around the United States that people don't have that option.
So one of the things, you guys, when we became retailers, and we take this very seriously, and I mean, I don't know how to just tell you who we are. We're as honest as the day is long. But one of the agreements that we have with Handy Quilter is that they are happy to support us selling across the country, as long as we are committed to you in the form of training and service. Okay, so that's why we have owners all over the place. And I'm just going to be really honest. I'm not naming names. I'm not saying anything. I've just run across people who they've not been happy in the past, and they're not going to make that mistake again. And I am so excited. And that's why we're not going to pressure you about anything. When you're ready, we're ready to help you, because we don't want you to have a bad experience. This is supposed to be fun, for Pete's sake. It is fun. It's so, I mean, I just absolutely love what I do. And if you have followed me for any length of time, you know that it just, I start talking about this and it rolls out of me like water. I love it. I love that I have found a passion of mine that can be our business. It supports our family, and it's something that I love to do. Isn't that what all of us want to go to work and do every day, is something that we love? So we are here to build community. We're here to build friendships. You know, a lot of people say, oh, don't make friends with customers, da, 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 da. We want to get to know you. When I go out and travel and teach, I love it when you will say, MK, you can stay with me. I love that, because I love getting to know you and your families and your dogs. And, you know, I just came back from a fantastic trip out west where my host took me to Lake Tahoe. And then, you know, we did fun stuff. We went to the casinos. And then I went to Washington State, where my host lived on a hobby farm, and I got to get eggs out of the chicken coop. And I mean, it's just so much fun meeting you where you are. And I just hope that you can see faces on who we are, and you can just know that we're real people. I am a quilter through and through. I want to help you. You know, I want your business, but I want you to be happy with what you buy. I know this is a huge investment. It's a chunk of change. Don't ever think that we don't understand that, because we do. All right?
So you made me think of something else. Melissa had a really good idea a week or so ago. We are going to start giving you the option of, instead of having Melissa or another trainer come out to your place, and this might even get more popular in the winter months.
Who wants to come to Florida?
Okay, so this is a shop where we don't have customers coming in all the time. She can shut the shop down for a full day and have you in to have your training here in Florida. You know, it's an option to go either way.
Whether I have to get on a plane to come to you, or you got to get on a plane to come to me, we're still going to pay that airline fee, okay? We have 2 hotels just up the road from us. I mean, nearly within walking distance. However, I would never ask you to walk across US 19, because you'd be taking your life in your own hands. But this is what we're planning, you guys, because to be quite honest with you, we are feeling a surge coming on. We're feeling a surge coming on, and we know that these machine sales are going to start dropping, and I'm probably not going to be able to be on a plane week in and week out. So I'd love to have groups of you come here, and we can have some fun quilting here in the shop.
So before we take a question, there are people that have come from out of this country to spend a couple days with Melissa here in the shop. So even if you bought your machine someplace else,
You
it won't
are
be
welcome
free, but
here.
You are welcome here.
Everybody is
everyone
welcome.
is welcome.
I have had people who have baby locks with pro stitchers on them. I have had Janome owners with pro stitchers on them come to my events. Everybody is welcome. I don't snub my nose at you if you have bought from somebody else. I want you to know and love your Pro Stitcher better. I'm hoping that you can kind of see that we do focus a lot pretty heavily on Pro Stitcher here. I am so happy to have Ellen now because she's helping me open my eyes to free motion. She's helping some of my owners, like with the class next week. But Pro Stitcher for me, you guys, I just don't feel like I'm ever going to be a gifted free motion quilter. I just don't. I love the Pro Stitcher because it makes me look good. It helps me be precise.
You always look good.
Oh, thank you, honey. He's so sweet.
So I think John's got one other.
John, you got a question over there?
Let's two statements. So apparently Sherry Puckett's pretty darn interested in coming to Florida.
All right,
And,
Sherry, come on.
Maria Mattia, if I pronounced her name, she apparently lives 10 minutes away from you guys.
What? Maria, why haven't you been for a visit, girl? So, speaking of coming for a visit, anybody is welcome to come to Florida and visit me at any time. But you need to plan well in advance because I am not here all the time. I am like all over the place. Okay, we're running a little bit long, and I do want to cover a couple of other things. Handy Quilter is having a promotion right now. This is the first time that they've ever offered this promotion, and it is running through July 15th, so about another week and a weekend. Basically, they're billing it as the bounce back shopping spree. And what it is if you buy a machine and or Pro Stitcher combination, you're going to get anywhere from $200 up to $700 in spendable money from us. Okay, you buy a system from us, you bounce back into our shop or onto our website, or you give us a call and you say, I want the casters for my table, or I want some of the specialty feet. How about I want one of those fantastic My Secret drawers. I'd love the lighting system. If you buy a Forte or an Infinity and add on the Pro Stitcher, you can call us up and you can go shopping for $700 worth of additional stuff.
And actually,
OMG!
Actually, it's $770 because every owner, as part of our Super MK Quilts plan, gets 10% off everything they buy. So
exactly.
You're double dipping. So I do want to mention, go to the website. We talk about our training. We talk about 10% off. My IT support. I'm actually doing a Windows 10 upgrade for one of our customers just on a spur of the moment here.
You guys, I cannot tell you, between my training videos and Mr. MK's tech, our customers have said that is some of the best money that they have ever spent, is to buy my videos and have him help you with your computer.
And if you're buying Melissa's videos and using an older machine, when you buy a new system from us, we will give you 100% credit for every penny you spent on her training videos. Because for 2 years, you get everything she makes in video for free. So buy the videos now, buy the table later, get all your money back. I don't know anyone else that
John's got a
generous.
question, and then I'm thinking, I don't want this to fly out of my head.
Does she need to make an appointment? Does anybody need to make an appointment to come to the shop to see you?
Yes, always. We run on by appointment only here. Ellen works 3 days a week, but some weeks those days shift. So the shop number, the new shop number, I have to memorize this, is 727-935-1739. And we got a brand new phone system, so if you want to talk to Paul, you press this number. If you want to talk to Ellen, you press this number. If you want me, you press, okay? And please don't get freaked out by that, because I hate those systems. We will return your phone call. That is our promise to you.
Can you repeat that number?
727-935-1739, and that comes right in here to the shop, and we will return your call.
1 for the shop, to talk to Ellen or see what's going on in the shop. 2 for support, me, or if I'm on vacation, this allows me to channel it so you will get a person. 3 is for new salespeople, and if you listen to the message long enough, you'll find out you can ring her cell phone by pressing 5. I think I'm 6, whatever. But we put the phone system in place just because we needed the quality. We needed to be able to make sure that our customers could get a hold of us. Or when we go on our cruise in November for our 30th anniversary, aren't we cute? You still can join us on it, of course, but if you're back here and you need somebody, we'll make sure those numbers ring through to a human being.
All right, I want to talk really quickly about pricing and financing. Handy Quilter has loads of options for financing. If you need that, we will help you through that. For pricing, one of the things that we have to abide by with Handy Quilter under our retailer agreement is that we may only advertise manufactured suggested retail pricing. Okay, so anything that you see on our site about the pricing is going to be the same pricing if you headed over to Handy Quilter's website. Now, having said that, we sometimes can add some other things in. We just listed for you a whole bunch of value added stuff. You get all my training for free. You get aligned directly to us. You get Paul's tech services. You get all of these things. So what Paul and I want to tell you about pricing, and we are going to be completely honest with you right now. This is who we are. We are always honest with you. If you are just out there looking to spend the least amount of money that you can spend, then you're probably looking at the wrong people right now, okay? We're probably never going to be the lowest price. That's not how we are thinking about things. What I want you to think about when you go out there and all you're doing is shopping on price. Are you really getting the best deal if you get the best price and then it shows up on your door and it's like, have fun, have a good time with that?
I mean,
just saying.
There are websites for cheap and dirty long arms. You know, they'll say you don't have to pay taxes. Well, you really should. But you can get away with certain shortcuts and things. But we've even met shops and retailers or heard about them that are selling the older machines. They're not even telling them about the newer machines. So you're always going to get it straight from us. There is no free money in this world. However, we will work with it so that you don't feel pressured, and we'll find a way to get you into the machine you really want.
And I didn't write up any information for this evening to present to you, but Paul and I will, in one way or the other, and I always take the lead from him on this, both of my Amara and my Forte are going to need to get on out of here. I keep the shop models for a period of time. They're gently used. They always go out of here fully serviced with the complete balance of the warranties on the machines. And we take each of those floor model sales on a case-by-case basis. If it's a local sale and we can deliver and set it up, we'll just include that in the price. If we got to ship it somewhere and I got to come to you or one of our installers has to come to you, I'm just being honest with you, we have to take that into consideration on the floor model as well. But we own these machines, so we can have a little bit more negotiating or ability to move on the price a little bit depending on where you are. So be watching for that. My Amara's going up for sale, the Forte's going up for sale, and then we're just going to bring new ones in here anyway. So maybe the time is right. You can get a gently used machine that's had, you know, MK on it.
So yeah, Handy Quilter does set limits on the new machines on the prices that we can actually offer. On the used machines, we can get a little bit more flexible in there as well.
Just always remember, you guys, with the financing, like Paul said, there's no free money. So if you do need to finance, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be fees. Maybe not to you. You know, they always advertise it. No free, you know, zero this and zero that. That doesn't necessarily mean zero to us. And we just can't take the hit on some of that financing, which just means we're willing to offer you financing. You just might have to finance a little bit more. It's just the way of the world, okay? Again, always being honest with you here. Okay, well, I just kind of reviewed my notes. We went a little bit over.
Colleen says, bring that Amara in May when you come see me.
Oh, yeah, baby. I'll just put it in my carry-on. Okay, we're just going to wait a couple of minutes. Any other final questions, John? I want to just personally thank John. I know you didn't see him, but he's a dear friend of ours, and he, Ellen wasn't going to be able to come out this late and help us out, and I really appreciate you, John, coming in tonight to help us out. I was consistently seeing about 25 people that hung with us the whole time, so thank you so much. This promotion with Handy Quilter is going through the 15th, so I will repost the specifics about that. And oh, good catch, Paul. Okay, I have a giveaway for you guys. Have you noticed this awesome tumbler that I've been drinking my water from tonight? So here's what we're gonna do. I have a tumbler for you. It's a Handy Quilter tumbler. Inside is a zinger and a pair of scissors, a couple of packages of the ballpoint needles that are the bomb. All right, we are going to have a drawing for this tumbler, but what you must do is complete one of Paul's online forms. So tell them about that, honey.
And so for our owners, since there are some owners here, I know one right there I see is thinking about a second machine. You guys can still go in and put your name in the request for quote form. You'll find it on almost every web page related to Pro Stitcher, the machines, or just the new machines. You'll find it there. Fill it out. It'll automatically register you for the drawing. We won't hound anybody. There's a notes field. You can just say, I've already got a machine, or not interested. But if you stuck with us up to this point, go in there and just register through any one of the number of request a quote forms.
And
we'll do a drawing.
We'll do a draw. We'll leave. How about this? We're going to repost this video so that it lasts through the length of the promotion. So we will allow this to run through the 15th. Anybody who watches the video would like to put in their request. That just helps you get into our system. Maybe you're going to go in there and say, MK, I'm not ready till November. Well, then we're not going to hound you and keep after you until November. We might put a tickler on our calendar and give you a phone call in November and say, oh, here's what the promotion is this month. But we need to get you in the system. You guys, my schedule is like crazy, okay? And I want to come to you, or I want you to come to me, but I need to know when these machine sales are going to be dropping so that we can plan accordingly, okay?
Yes, the cup can be for sale. I saw that one come through. Actually, tried to order some and they were out. We didn't
Well,
get them, so.
I think they just had Academy. There was like how many thousands of people out at Academy. I'm sure they botted them all up. So yes, we'll try to get them back in stock. John, question?
Where would they go to request the quote form, and will it add us to the newsletter too?
No, the newsletter is a separate sign up. It uses the same type of registration. However, if you go to our menu on the MKQuilts.com, go under new machines, look at some of the new machines, and on the bottom of every page, you'll see the form, request a quote. It's really not hard. I've been putting it on all the product pages so that you can find it easily.
And he even changed the newsletter sign up to be more prevalent right on the home page.
On the home page, front page, you'll see it there.
One thing I forgot to mention, and hopefully my owners don't mind me kind of saying this because I didn't really check with them, but we would welcome you to come in here for a test drive on the machines, but maybe you're just not living here in Florida. If you live some other place and you would like a test drive, you could reach out to us and we will reach out to an owner that we might have close to you, and maybe that person would welcome you to come to their home, take a test drive, talk to you about their experience with us, how it went when they bought from us, okay? And you guys, I asked Paul to put up a map again, but we've got owners in Texas and Utah and Michigan and Illinois and Indiana and Rhode Island and Georgia and Florida and Wisconsin. I mean, we've got now owners, Ohio, all over the place. And we just want to add you to our owners community. We've got a private Facebook group, and we're having a huge owners only event in Florida in March of next year. You must have purchased a machine and or pro stitcher from us, but we're going to have some fun in Florida in March, the last weekend in March, I believe it is. We are going to do some fun stuff. We're going to do some learning. We're going to do some partying. We're going to do some eating.
Bring your husbands. I need company. I'll show them some tech tips. And then while they wait for you to talk to Melissa, we'll have some fun. I promise.
All right.
John
Okay.
has another.
This is actually my own question. Is there
Okay.
a discount on the tumbler, like if Melissa already drank from it?
No, it
Lord.
costs more. If you want a tumbler that Melissa's drank from, it'll cost you $5 more. All right, so.
Just in closing, I am going to be some additional places throughout the country this year. It's one of the things that I just, like I said, I love doing. I basically look for people who are willing to host me in their home. We invite other owners, and we have 2 days of training. And basically, it's Pro Stitcher Premium, kind of a special focus with simulation, but I am going to be in a bunch of places. Now, most of them are filling up very fast. So if you want to see me this year, I'm already booked out into May of next year. So head on over to the website, mkquilts.com. See in the upcoming events tab where I'm going to be, where in the world is MK going to be. And I would love for you to come out, or maybe even consider hosting me yourself. Oh, here's an idea. How's about you buy a machine? And then I'll be out there. We'll add an event to it, and we'll just have some fun. And if you need to talk to anybody who's taken one of my classes, I'm not just saying this. I have not had an unhappy customer come out to one of my sim events. They're
They've
really
had
fun.
headaches, though, because you fill it so full.
Yeah,
but-
I always tell my students, if you don't go out of here overwhelmed, then I am not done my job, okay? So I will fill you to overflowing. Come on out and see me.
I think we've.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we are way over time. Okay, you guys, join my sim group, my Facebook sim group. Continue to watch here on my business page. I got YouTube, I got Instagram. I mean, I'm all over the place. And we'd love to invite you and welcome you into our exclusive owners club. Okay, thanks to John. Thanks for all of you for your business already. Thanks for being a follower. And until next time, from our studio to yours. Happy quilting, everybody. Good night and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.